Right now, in the United States, there are about 15 million empty homes. At the same time, roughly 770,000 people don't have anywhere to sleep tonight. Do the math, and there are enough vacant homes in this country for every single homeless person to have 27 of their own. So why hasn't this problem just solved itself? Let's start with what we actually know. According to the US Census Bureau, about 15 million homes across the country sit vacant at any given time. That's roughly 10% of all the housing in America. 1 out of every 10 homes empty. On the other side of this equation, the Department of Housing and Urban Development counts the homeless population every January on a single night across the entire country. In 2024, the count hit its highest number on record, about 770,000 people, an 18% jump from the year before. Divide one number by the other, and you get 27 vacant homes for every homeless person in America. It's the kind of statistic that spreads fast online, because on the surface, it looks like the simplest problem in the world to solve. But that 27 number hides something important. Not all vacant homes are the same. Of those 15 million, more than 4 million are seasonal homes, beach houses, ski cabins, vacation properties that sit empty most of the year but are still very much owned and used, just not year-round. Others are in the normal churn of the housing market, homes between tenants, homes recently sold and not yet moved into, homes mid-renovation. This kind of vacancy isn't a failure of the system. It's just how a functioning housing market works. You need some empty units for people to move between. And a portion of these homes are abandoned or in such poor condition that moving someone in isn't as simple as handing over a key. They'd need serious repairs first. When researchers narrow the count down to homes that are genuinely available, listed for sale or rent, habitable, sitting on the market right now, the ratio drops from 27 vacant homes per homeless person to something closer to 8 or 9. Still a huge number. Just not the almost cartoonish 27 you see in viral posts. Even the more realistic number runs into a second problem: location. The states with the most vacant homes per homeless person aren't the states struggling with homelessness. Mississippi, for example, has one of the highest ratios in the country, over 150 vacant homes for every person without housing. But Mississippi also has one of the lowest homeless populations in America, partly because it's one of the cheapest places to live. Meanwhile, California, which has the largest homeless population of any state by far, doesn't have anywhere near enough of its own vacant, affordable homes to absorb that number. The empty houses and the people who need them simply aren't in the same place. And even where vacant homes do exist in expensive cities, many of them are priced for buyers who don't have a housing problem at all. They're investment properties, held empty on purpose while their value appreciates. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. Roughly half of the homeless population in the United States is employed. This isn't primarily a story about people who can't work or won't work. For a huge share of this population, the core problem is that their income and the local cost of housing no longer overlap. Nationally, researchers estimate the U.S. is short about 7 million affordable housing units for low-income families. That gap didn't appear overnight. It built up over decades of construction not keeping pace with population growth, especially in the cities where jobs are concentrated. So while it's technically true that there are more empty homes than homeless people, most of those empty homes are in the wrong place, priced for the wrong beer, or not actually available at all. None of this means the 15 million number is meaningless. It points at something real. Cities that have made the most progress on chronic homelessness generally didn't do it by matching random vacant houses to random homeless individuals. They did it through an approach researchers call housing first. Get someone into stable housing immediately without requiring them to solve other problems, addiction, employment, paperwork, before they qualify. Some cities and states have also started converting vacant commercial buildings and underused government-owned properties into housing, and offering incentives for landlords to fill long vacant units rather than leave them empty. These programs are expensive and politically difficult, but they tend to outperform the simpler idea of just pointing at a spreadsheet of vacant homes and assuming the problem solves itself. The 27-to-1 statistic isn't false, but like a lot of viral numbers, it's true in a way that flattens a much messier reality, a reality involving location, ownership, condition, and price, not just a simple headcount of houses and people. The real story isn't that America has plenty of housing and is simply choosing not to use it. It's that the country's housing is unevenly distributed, unevenly priced, and unevenly matched to where people actually need to live and work. That's a harder problem to fix than moving a key from one hand to another, but it's also a more honest one. If you want to see more of these viral statistics broken down to find out what they actually mean, subscribe, because that's exactly the kind of story we dig into next.